I ain't know that. Be like this shirt said, just be like Nike, just do it.
Oh my God. So we just gonna let you. We're gonna give it a few seconds and wait and let people get joined in.
Okay.
Y'all, it's gonna be real today. It's interesting because she ready, but she ain't ready. It's been interesting just getting prepared to do this today. So I'm gonna tell y'all right now, it's gonna be the show.
That is true.
Oh my God. So how you doing?
I'm doing good. And yourself?
Y'all see? So I'm gonna give her a minute so she can kind of get in and get in her mode and wind down just a little bit so she can be comfortable with this stuff.
Well, I'm super excited, y'all. Super excited. So, yeah, I can't stop smiling.
That's okay. We're gonna give her a minute to get used to the whole situation of being live. I'm only gonna have her live for about 30 minutes, y'all, because she ain't there yet. So we're gonna have to practice with her doing Facebook Live. But you're on the Passion Room. I thank you guys for joining in. I'm gonna give it just a few more minutes to allow some more people to chime into the Facebook Live. But I'm excited. This is her first novel.
Yes.
It's been interesting. I will say this for sure. Is the book itself is gonna be amazing. So you know how they said you need like what they say, what's the T?
What's the T? The TIE.
I'm talking about get you a cup and sit down. Get a cup and sit down. Get you the book. When you get your book, you get you a cup and you can sit down and read the tea because she did a phenomenal job on the book.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna give her a minute while you guys join in. I'm gonna give her a minute so she can relax, like relax, because we're gonna have real conversation today. So my name is Yolanda Allen. For those who don't know me, most of you do. And I literally put together the Passion Room as a way to um, put people in front of the screen so they can talk about the things that they're passionate about, whether it's different subject matters or just if they're looking to build and start building brands or businesses, whatever it is you're passionate about, we're going to have that showcase on our segments on Facebook Live. I'm also on YouTube, so for all the YouTubers who are tuning in, thank you so much. I'm appreciating your love and just being a part of the segment. And just want to go over just some brief information about the Passion Room because I'm going to be going live more frequently. I'm just working on the schedule of what topics we're going to be talking about, people we're going to be engaging with to talk about what it is that they're passionate about, what they're launching, things that they're involved in. And then also, I'm going to have different segments where I'm just kind of providing tips and tools for those of you who are just launching or just may need some tips to help you build whatever it is, brand or ideas that you have. So again, I appreciate you being on Facebook Live. Again, I have the first time author, Miss Crystal Allen. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you. Very excited about my book.
You ready?
Yes. Thank you for having me on the Passion Room.
You ready?
I am ready.
I want you to be in your mode, like Crystal mode.
Oh yes.
Like break it down, be in Crystal mode. For
yes,
real.
ma'am.
I don't want you to be uptight because y'all gonna see me in a minute. I'm gonna help her break it down, get used to this whole segment because I want her to be Crystal right now. No, better yet, I don't even want her to be Crystal. I want her to be Danielle.
I'm glad you said
That's
that.
what we're finna do.
I can do Danielle.
Because Danielle wrote this book.
Yeah, Danielle wrote this book.
Okay.
Crystal is more professional. Danielle is more laid back. Trust me.
So the person that wrote this book is the person I want to talk to. The person that wrote the book is the person I want y'all to hear today.
Okay, girl.
Is that all right?
Is that
all right? So I'm excited, like I said, about the book, the progress that you've made. Crystal has come, or Daniel, aka Danielle, has come a long way.
Yes. Long way.
She didn't want to do live.
No.
But my thing is sometimes the things that you don't want to do are those very things that's needed for you to move to your next level. So I'm excited about the fact that she was able to just kind of break some of those barriers and just kind of jump head first in and do some things that she's not comfortable with. But more importantly, the fact that she decided to go ahead and launch this book, I think it's very important. The message that she has in the book, and the fact that it's so transparent. I think most people need that. You know, a lot of times when people, whether it's Facebook or books that they write or whatever, you get a character, you get the person they want you to see. And in this book, the person that you see is her.
Yeah.
That's who you get in this book, and I'm super proud of her for that. But I definitely want to go deep dive head first into talking about you, the book, things that surrounded you writing the book. So just what motivated you in the first place to write the book?
Actually, what motivated me to write the book, first of all, I'd like to say thank you to you and my other sister, Michelle Allen, because, you guys grew up with me, you know my life, you know my past,
Yeah.
and yeah. And so, I would just randomly joke and talk about things. And as I talked about how I wanted to travel, but I couldn't because I was a convicted felon, and then got my passport and was so excited I talked to you guys about it and decided to travel. So when I made that decision to travel out the country and just randomly said, I think I'll go to Paris, both of you guys motivated me, encouraged me to do it. Not only did you motivate me to go, you both motivated me to write a book. And after I gotten back from Paris, I went through some old letters that I actually saved from my prison stay. And in one of those letters, my sister wrote and suggested that I write a book. So I felt that was my sign and my time to write a book.
Okay, I agree, and I think the best thing when it comes, we all have stories.
Yes.
Some of us, our stories are undercover. We keep our stories to ourselves. We hope that nobody hears about it, don't know about it. But I think the best thing a lot of times that we can do is be transparent. And when you're transparent, people get to connect with you, that individual.
Right.
And I think in this book, that's exactly what you provided them with. And um, I'm going to make sure I made my business to the questions I asked do not go inside this book. So I'm going to stay on that path. But as I was reading the book, and I'm not going to go into any details, I was kind of like, oh yeah, oh that moment, yeah, this moment, and moments leading to you having to serve time in prison. A lot of times we have regrets. We're like, you know what? I wish I didn't do this. I
Right.
wish this had changed. Like, what if you could change some of the things that happened? If you could go back in time, like, what would you actually change um, about your past experience?
Well, I'm glad you asked me that because I've thought about that. What would I change? But then I had to think if I could change things, would it had ever led me to the road of going to Paris? I know for a fact had I not went to prison, experienced the life experiences I went through, I wouldn't have never went to Paris. First of all, I was afraid to fly. So much less to travel outside the
Y'all hear
country.
that? Did y'all? She ain't lying.
I promise you.
Okay.
Yes, oh my Lord, yeah, no. I just felt like I wasn't right with Jesus to be in the sky falling out like that. But I'm just saying,
Right.
But uh, when you realize the possibilities, you really start shooting for the stars, actually shooting for it. So I thought, what would it be like to go to Paris? Okay, why not try? And I just made that a mission of mine was to focus on getting to Paris. And then I said, if I can make it to Paris, then I can write this book. So once I got back from Paris, it motivated me to write this book.
Okay. And tips, hats off to you, just because um, the average person is just gonna speak to or talk about things that most people want to keep in the closet. They won't expose that, or they'll make it look good. They'll make it look good. And that is so not the case in this book, y'all. Matter of fact, while helping work on this book, I read to a certain point, and because I'm like, you know what? I don't want to know this. So I just kind of got on past certain parts because I want to make sure I stay in that space with what I know about her. Girl, it was serious.
It was deep.
It's deep. But like, how do you think going to and experiencing going to prison has both positively and negatively impacted you and your family?
Well, let me start with the negative impact first. It negative impacted me because I didn't realize the hindrance of opportunities. For example, before I went to prison, I was in college. Well, when I tried to go back to college when I got out of prison because I was a convicted felon, I couldn't qualify for financial aid.
Mm.
Housing, trying to get housing. You have a criminal background.
Mhm.
Renters don't want to rent to you.
Right.
Jobs. If you're a convicted felon, I don't care what it is, a job, an employer doesn't want to deal with you.
Mhm.
So that was the negative impact for me. And then
Mhm.
my family, because it took me away from my family, and
Mhm.
then they had to suffer, as if they committed the crime themselves when, it was really my fault.
Right.
So the positive impact, I would say, it made me more resilient.
Mhm.
When I was able to get a job, I valued that job, gave that job my all,
Okay.
tried to be the most idle, positive employee to where they didn't want to fire me because
Oh my God.
I knew what I had in my past. So, and I knew I had that lingering over me, and I knew
Mhm.
at any given time, and I have been walked out of jobs after showing that I was the idle employee. But for the fact that I had that background, they didn't want to take that chance on me. So,
Wow.
you know, that it taught me to be resilient, to be a harder worker, to prove myself more, and to value when I do accomplish something. Don't take it for granted,
Right.
because sometimes getting a good job we take it for granted, not realizing if you got a background, you wouldn't have that good job. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Okay. And I remember, like, almost like it was yesterday. Um, and I think I was telling you about this when I don't forgot how many sentences. All I know is I remember the judge saying he was going to jail,
Yes,
and
yes.
I went. I left the court hearing, and I went to work. I was actually working at the
Hmm.
Hyatt at the time, and I think I was telling you this not too long ago. I left there, and like just to keep my eyes from crying, like my eyes stayed bucked the whole time. I was trying to make sure nobody saw me because I had to get to my office.
Hmm.
And I remember getting from the back door to my office, which seemed like it took forever. Girl, it seemed like it took forever. And I got in my office, and with me running the business center, I couldn't close the door. So I had to keep the door open. And so when I got into the office, I sat there and I tried to keep my face in the computer screen because I didn't want to look over, blink my eyes. Because I'm like, if I blink one time, if I blink one time, it was over.
Yeah, the
And
floodgates.
I remember I had a knock on the door. It was a knock on the door, and I didn't even want to look over. I just kept my head kind of buried in the computer, and I turned to my right, and I don't even know if y'all remember who this football player was, but Reggie White like came, knocked at my door, and he said, "It's gonna be okay."
The late great Reggie White.
And I couldn't even be happy because I could I could not be happy because that was it. I hurried up, I closed the door, and I just started bawling. Like I remember that. Like that's one thing about that whole situation that day I just will never forget. And I wanted to enjoy that moment after the fact, after I thought about it, but it was just like they just sent my sister to prison. So that was for me, that was crazy.
And
And
not to mention that was our first time being separated as siblings,
yeah.
because growing up as a tight knit family, and we never been apart from each other for
Mhm.
any extended period of time, and we
Mhm.
never experienced anyone close to us going to jail or
Right.
prison. So,
Yeah.
I even talk about that in the book, the feeling of, getting sentenced, and I
Mhm.
couldn't hug you guys, they once they sentence you, they just haul you off to the back.
You think?
There's no, you can show,
Man,
yeah, you can
girl.
say your goodbyes, give a hug and kiss, and,
Man, you ain't
and
get to
give
do
it
none of that.
nothing.
Yeah.
You just heading straight to prison. So
Yeah.
that was a hard pill to swallow,
Mhm.
especially leaving my kids because they were in the courtroom too.
Mhm.
So even though they didn't understand it, it's not they didn't realize that they wasn't gonna see their mom for a bit,
Yeah.
for a
Yeah.
little bit. So yeah, it was hard. That was one of the hardest moments actually ever for me.
So, and speaking of going to prison, like what advice, like, would you give someone who's possibly an ex-felon or,
Mm-hmm.
what advice would you give them? Because I know for you, you did go through an experience a lot, even like once you were released, just like you were saying with jobs and things like that. What is that one thing that you would advise or that motivation that you would give to them as a result of your outcome?
Well, for me, all roads lead to God, believe it or not,
Mhm.
because you got to put Him first.
Mhm.
You try to figure things out and you
Mhm.
can't, you need some type of guidance, some type of structure.
Mhm.
And I just had to focus on him and let him guide me, because me trying to figure it out, scheme and do it myself, I don't care how much of a hustler I thought I was, I couldn't pull it off, you know. And once I humbled myself and realized that, things started to fall into place for me. You know, one of the things I did was I went back to church.
Yeah, thanks.
I started volunteering in the community.
Okay, I'm trying to get.
You got to get back to the community
Right,
you
right,
took
right,
from.
right.
You know, you can't just expect to come back out here
Yeah.
after hurting your community and think your community is just going to embrace you. You can't do that. So my advice would be, you know, try to give back to the community you may have hurt. You know, not only that, but connect yourself to positive people. You got to change your environment. You can't go back out here into the same routine, same group of people, and expect the difference. It's not going to happen. So, you know, I had to focus on my family. I had to change my routine. It was a long road. I mean, it took years, rejection, depression. It took a lot. But at the end of the day, the one main thing that stayed steadfast for me was staying focused on God. You know, I did a lot of praying, meditating, um, reading. You gotta always try to uh, provide yourself with knowledge. Give yourself knowledge. Uh, don't think you know it all, because you don't. So always try to feed yourself with knowledge that'll better you as a person, better your spirit, better your surrounding, anything that will better you as a person. Period. That's what you need to be focused on. So.
Right. And you said one thing, and it's crazy how we always end up back in the church.
Yeah, it takes you back.
And being and the one thing, and I'm gonna bring this up because it was in there. You brought up about being a PK kid. Like the expectation of us is real.
Yeah, it is.
It's real, and it's like you. That's a whole nother conversation that we're gonna have maybe at another time if possible.
That could be a book within itself, because you know people don't understand being a PK kid. You know different than anybody else, but the expectations that's put upon you, you know, it's a lot. It is a lot, because everybody watch what you do. They, you know, you don't do anything different than they kid done, but you're gonna be judged more highly. So, but at the same time, though, I'm grateful for it, because I feel like being a PK, you always prayed over, you know, cause that pastor, I call my daddy Pastor Daddy. That's his nickname. And he always prayed for me. So there's those advantages. Trust me, I didn't realize it as a kid, but as I got older, I can appreciate it now. You know, because imagine all the kids and young people out there that don't have refuge, nobody to turn to, no guidance. You know, that's what I find solace in, prayer. If there's nothing else I could do, that's the one thing I could do is pray. So that has been my constant.
Okay. So outside of the book, which that's going to be huge, and upcoming poster, whatever, we'll talk about where you have book signings, where the book signings are going to be located, and different things that'll be coming up. Like what are some things that you want to start outside of the book? Like, what are some things you want to pursue moving forward in the future? Like, what are some things you want to start doing that you maybe haven't started doing?
Right.
What are some things that your dreams as far as what you want to do, or as far as your purpose in life?
Well, actually, I grew up doing volunteer work, um, from volunteering at a food bank at a church to volunteering at an assisted living facility or nursing home. So my goal is to kind of follow in my parents' footsteps, just in another realm. There's one thing I have noticed, that there are a lot of people that need medical equipment, medical supplies, and although they may have insurance, insurance doesn't cover everything. I learned that when I broke my ankle back in 2020, February 2nd, 2020.
Oh, you remember that?
Yes, okay. Never will forget it. Going into work, my second job, slipped on some ice, and you know, I didn't want to pay for a wheelchair, because I knew I expected to walk again. So I found a great foundation that, you know, provide medical equipment. And So it gave me an idea to basically start what they're doing, start a free rental program where I can provide medical equipment and supplies to people who can't afford it. So that's where I'm headed right now. You know, yeah.
So we're pushing for you. I'm confident that you're gonna do it, just like you were able to do the book. And definitely looking forward to whatever you decide to do, whatever your endeavors are in the future. And with that, it was just there was a thing I was looking up before I left the office today, and it was a poem by Les Brown, and it was talking about it said the graveyard, and I opened that up because I don't want to forget it. It says the graveyard is the richest place on earth because it is here that you will find all hopes and dreams that were never fulfilled, the books that were never written, the songs that were never sung, the invitations that were never shared, the cures that were never discovered, all because someone was too afraid to take that first step. Keep with the problem or to determine to carry out their dreams. And that's why I was really appreciative of the fact that y'all, it was real with her in this book. I mean, from trying to get her to go live, to go take photos, to do just all of it. It was real, but understanding the outcome. So that's one of those things where it doesn't matter what your endeavors are. It doesn't matter what your dreams are. If it's something that keeps you up, and that's why I decided to go with the segment of called the Passion Room. If there's something that you want to do, and I'm not talking about somebody else's dream for you. If there's something that you want to do, if there's something that keeps you up at night and that you want to do passionately, go for it, because you can't take that to the grave.
Right.
If you mess around and not pursue that, you cannot take that to the grave. So do it now. Like the last couple of years taught us better than anybody. Things you could be here today, gone tomorrow.
Yep.
So if you don't pursue, then you can't fault nobody. You can't be upset with nobody but yourself. So whatever it is that you want to pursue, if you haven't started working on that or going in that direction, start working on it. And it may take you longer than others to get it done. No matter what it is, just take that first step to get it go in that direction. So with that being said, like, what are some last words you got for us?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
For pushing me and driving me to do this. I want to say this book was deep. I really had to go back almost over 25 years and really think about and relive some things that I never thought I would do, because that was a time that I tried to forget actually. Yeah. I once they let me out those prison doors, I told them they don't never have to worry about me seeing no parts of that, not even that city. Fond du Lac, no, Lord Jesus, no. But it's funny how life will bring you full circle, because yeah, now I drive to Fond du Lac like I've never even been to prison, and it's funny because I have a certain calm about myself, because I'm not out here living recklessly. You know, I'm not out here committing any crimes, so I can actually go somewhere with my head held high. I can actually go to another country now. You know, so that was the greatest. Yes, that was the greatest thing ever, to be able to go to Paris. Wow, and that's why I said I thank God for my experience, even going to prison, because had I not went, I'm pretty sure I would have never went to Paris.
Okay. So y'all, that book is real.
Yes.
I'm ready. So I know.
Oh, and to all
except the parts that I didn't want to see. Except the parts that I didn't want to look at, didn't want to go, and
it's deep. It's deep.
It's real, but it's real, and that's the part that you'll actually appreciate it about the book. But when can they purchase the book?
Well, if you go on Amazon, it's actually available now.
Did y'all hear that? Wait, what you just say?
I said if you go on Amazon, yes, and type in From Prison to Paris, it is actually on Amazon now.
Yep.
And for those who have pre-ordered, thank you. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for just, taking a chance on me. And please inbox me your address. I will either deliver personally your autographed copy, or I will mail it to you, but you will get it as soon as I can get it.
And to Miss Clara, is it Clara Fleming?
Clara Fleming.
She is the bomb.com, y'all. Like, for real. You talk about a cheerleader. That woman, She would call her. She wasn't playing with her. She wasn't playing with you.
No,
She wasn't playing with her. You were going to get this book done.
Yes.
You're going to get this book done.
Yes.
So shout out to Miss Clara Flemings. You are the bomb. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
And again, the book is available. It's live. It's ready for purchase. So go to Amazon. Look up From Prison to Paris.
Yes.
And you can put your order in for your book. I forgot what the shipping time is, but because they have to kind of publish and do it, and not publish, but print it and all that. They have a time set on when the deliveries are set, but that book is ready, y'all.
Yes, it is.
Y'all ready?
I'm ready.
You ready?
Y'all ready?
Y'all ready?
Because I'm ready.
All right. So I wanted to make sure I keep this live as close as 30 minutes as possible. I want to try to keep it, because there's only so much. I ain't trying to talk for a whole hour. I'm good right there.
Me too.
So until next time, the Passion Room, there are some subject matters that I already have lined up. This Thursday, not today's Tuesday. So this Thursday, we are going to be live again. The Miss Michelle Allen. We're gonna have her on Facebook Live talking about what we can do or what we need to do as a community to help people who are suffering from mental illness. Y'all, listen. All y'all got somebody.
Yes. All of us got somebody.
Now we're not gonna play with that. Everybody I know somebody that's struggling with mental illness. So y'all can play with it if you want to, or we can come up with a solution and come up with ways to be a better resource, be more present, have more of a listening ear. There's so much that we can do better, and that's a learning experience for me that this year, like, wow. Yeah. So there's so much to helping that we can do better as far as helping people with mental illness. But first we got to admit that it's there. Yeah. Secondly, we got to start being better connected and being a voice for people that are dealing with that. So again, y'all, on this Thursday, Facebook Live, back in the Passion Room, we're going to be talking about dealing with what the next steps are as far as dealing with people with mental illness. So until next time, I appreciate you all for being on my live.
Thank you.
YouTube and it's on Facebook. I appreciate you all. And then I'll see you all again next Thursday. No, not next Thursday. This week Thursday. I'll repost it so you can see it. But this Thursday we'll be back live in the Passion Room. Have a great day, you guys.
Bye-bye.